Good morning. This is the Eager Beaver Show.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters, CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Well, there you go. Good morning and hello, kids, and welcome to season 4 and episode number, let's see, I guess this would be 542 of the Daily Beaver Morning Show, or 542B of the Daily Beaver Morning Show, here on the Cryomedian Network, dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, kids and Cubs, so nice to see you. Today, recording day, is Christmas Day. Yes, Wednesday, December 25th, 2024. And for the kids and Cubs who have been watching us earlier today, you get Double Beaver because we were on a little earlier this morning with Mr. Grizzly. He popped in to say hello to you because originally we hadn't managed to make our schedules meet to be able to pre-record something for you today. So we both decided to pop in. And fortunately, I was able to join Mr. Grizzly a little earlier to wish him all the best of the season and for his family and spend some time with you. But since I had originally planned to see you today, I decided that even though I saw you once already this morning, that I would see you again because, as you know, kids and Cubs, my daily dose of the DAMFAM is part of an essential breakfast for me. It's right up there with a glass of orange juice. So thank you so very, very, very much. Kit Toronto Dan, are you in the locker room? No, I am in the guest room at my father-in-law's, which is basically a den that is part of his unit and has a little bit of an office space and actually has a Murphy bed. So what you're seeing here is actually some of the storage behind the Murphy bed when the Murphy bed is up. So it's actually pulled out right now and I am sitting on it. So, but if it's a locker room, it's a deluxe locker room. Nothing but the very best here at the Beaver Lodge. So yes, welcome. Live broadcasting live from the Toronto Beaver Lodge. Thank you very much, kids and Cubs, because yes, we are a very cosmopolitan show. We podcast from everywhere. So a big thank you goes to our podcast's founding sponsors, the Peppermaster, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. Have more of a casual show for you today. We're not going to do much politics and that kind of stuff, even though there is a lot going on. Just some time to, some family time, because Christmas is an interesting period of the year. It can be, how would you say, very joyous and festive and full of love and laughter and all the good stuff for a lot of people. But for other people, it can be a lonely and harder time of the year. And of course, not everybody observes Christmas as well. So And of course, as well, Christmas, even though Christmas is 24/7 on the day, Christmas activities not necessarily are. So there may not be many people that are not doing family stuff early this morning and have it scheduled for later this afternoon. So, we just wanted to make sure that we had a little moment to say hello. And but before we continue, since it is Christmas, I will look into the magic mirror. What's the magic cell phone here? See, maybe your sweetie let me have his cell phone so I can see the chat at the same time. Always thinking. So, um, whether you are celebrating Christmas or anything else, or not celebrating, or whether you're just doing the Festivus thing, all the best on this special day to Kit Elaine, Kit PNC Bio. Thank you for joining us for part deux of our Christmas drop-in. Kit Toronto Dan, my friend, glad you're here. Kit Janet, hey, big hugs to you. I hope everything is going well in your part of the world. Who else do we have with us today? Kit Linda M. Hello, dear one. Thank you so much for joining us. And Merry Christmas to you and all of your family. Let's see, who else do we have? Jay Crick. Hey, my friend. Merry Christmas. Hope you're doing well today. See, Jay Crick is sending out the hugs to other members of the DAMFAM on the chat, which is really a lovely thing to do here. Kit Plain Power. Hello. Thank you for joining us today. It's nice to see you. It's always great when you're among us. Kit Cassie, hello. Hi. And Cowboy, hey, how you doing? And I saw in the chat the other day that this is the first Christmas for a while where Cowboy doesn't have to be undergoing anything medical. So I am hoping and praying that along with that comes with the energy to make this the best Christmas in a while yet. And I'm sending all the love to everyone over there. And by the way, also, Merry Christmas to all the Saskatchewan farm wives, or however it is that Kit Cassie keeps describing you on the chat. Not sure if I got it exactly right, but all of you started listening as a result of Kit Cassie talking us up, or talking about me who likes to play curling. I know that there's one of you specifically who is a big curling fan, according to Kit Cassie. So got some news for you on that too, by the way, today. But I hope you're all doing very well as well. Nona Carol, I heard about all the food you made. I am drooling. If it was possible to die of drooling, you, Kit Cassie, and I think it's Kit Elaine who was playing with chocolate yesterday. Oh, the things that you guys have been preparing. Oh my word. I'm drooling at this end. If it tastes anywhere as good as it looks, there's going to be a lot of people with a case of tryptophanitis today. Let's see what else do we have here. Kit Kat W. Hello. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Big hugs to you and everyone in your family. Miss Shadaka, hello, and Mohan, and Kits, Mateo, Jazzy, and Rain. The very best of Christmases to you. And I know at the Kit Miss House, Mateo was up particularly early. It seems that Mateo had already, if he didn't hear the footsteps on the roof itself, or the hoof steps on the roof himself, by about 1 o'clock in the morning, according to reports, he knew that Santa had already been by, and did the best he could, from what I can see, to wait until be patient until about 5:30. But I have a feeling it might have been like one of those episodes of The Simpsons. It's like, Mom, can we open the presents now? No. Mom, can we open the presents now? No. Mom, can we open the presents now? No. Mom. Fine. But Mateo, Rain, and Jazzy, I hope that Santa brought you absolutely everything that you wanted this year. And I know you have been you were on the nice list this year. Santa told me. Hey, true North Eager Beaver. Santa's at the North Pole. You have a connection, Just but yeah, Mateo, Jazzy, Rain, Merry Christmas to you from your friend, Mr. Beaver. Big kisses. Big hugs. Let's see, who else do we have? I think that's everyone so far this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Just a little bit casual chat today, and please, if you are in the chat, do share a lot here. What it is that you've planned, what you're cooking, what your plans are for the day. Would love to hear from them. Love to hear about them. I want to share in your joy too, not just you sharing mine. Okay. Let's see what do we have here. Miss Shadika says, honestly, for a 7-year-old so anticipating the gifts and having ADHD, he was pretty patient. Well then, that's a win. Merry Christmas to you. Kit Cassie, I should get you my gingerbread cake with orange cream icing. Oh, you guys. Oh, you guys are tempting me so much. Kit Cassie, that will be just in time for turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, garden carrots, and creamed carrot. Oh my god, that sounds good. Kit Linda, I had gingerbread for breakfast. I had a Rice Krispie square and a cup of hot chocolate. So join the club. Breakfast of champions. Good for you. Yeah. Kit Carol says, uh, hmm, I think she says I might have room for Elaine's chocolate. Did we eat a lot yesterday? Are we a little stuffed? Remember, kids and cubs, by the way, just so you know, I have this on good authority from Santa. All yummies for the Christmas period are both guilt and calorie free. It's true. It's a fact. I checked. Kit J. Crick says he's doing great, and I am so glad to see that. Cutting potatoes for 8 people is hard on the wrist. Uh huh. Yeah, I would agree with you there. I would definitely agree there. All right. Oh no, playing power. Santa brought me head cold. No, no. Well, I hope you feel better in no time flat. Oh, that's such a shame. We had somebody at our curling club the other day just write us and said, team we played against on Monday. One of the members wrote to us, and actually somebody who spared for us to help us on our team wrote to us and said that he had unfortunately contracted COVID. So I can't imagine that at Christmas. That must be really, really sad. Um, but I think that I'm okay on that one because I was skipping, so I was clear at the other end of the ice pretty much the entire time. Maybe not so for the rest of the members of my team, unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure that most of us or all of us got our shots and that type of stuff. So, especially curling tends to be an older crowd, so a lot more people are more incentivized. Let's put it that way to get their regular shots. All right. Since I said I was going to speak of curling, Kit Cassie and anybody else who might be listening, on Monday was the last curling match of this year for me and my senior, well, of last curling match of the year, period, but specifically for my senior men's team. And I do not know what happened, but I curled the best match I have ever played, ever. Okay, I was making ticks, I was making little taps. I actually threaded the needle through really fine port to do a takeout, something that was in the 4 foot. And playing against a really good team, actually playing against the team that won our division that we were in the first round, um, and handled us pretty well, actually, in that first round. So we went into the match, as the expression goes, respect everyone and fear no one, but knowing that we were in tough. And it was a really tough match. We really had to grit it out. Neither of the teams had any major slips, so we were each forcing each other to be better, and we came out on top. Boom. So I do not know if this is a new normal for me, but I certainly would not be upset with making pretty much every single one of my shots in a match, save one or two, rather than making every single one of the shots in the match, save maybe 5 or 6, 7. So and being damn on precise with everything. I mean, seriously, come twos, draws to the 4 foot, come arounds. I was just making everything guards. I wish I could bottle what I had that day, but that was a really nice early Christmas present. Because as you know, if you've been following the show, the early season has been a little rough. We've been having difficulty with our ice and maintaining temperature. um, given how warm it's been, maintaining the good conditions. But we have some new ice makers actually starting in January as well. And you kind of melt everything and then do another one and sharpen the stones for whatnot. So the first 2 weeks when we come back might be a little weird, especially when they redo the stones. Sometimes they travel a little weird at first. But once those get worked in maybe about a week or two, then we should hopefully be back to regular normal ice, and then I can find my regular game, because it has been a little frustrating pretty much for everyone, because not many of us are able to play to the best of our capacity um, when ice conditions are a little weird. However, that did happen, and just wanted to share it with you because, yeah, when I have a success, the first person I want to tell, of course, is my beaver sweetie, but then I want to tell all of you. So, my damn fam, I like to share. Um, what else do we? Ooh, oh my! Kid Carol's mom is making a chicken lasagna. Oh, chicken lasagna. Okay, Kid Carol, if ever, one day I happen to come to your place for dinner, should it happen, should the stars align one day, um, you cannot go wrong with lasagna for me. I'm literally like Garfield. Lasagna is nature's perfect food, and I have never met one I have not liked. Actually, that's not true, to be totally honest. I didn't meet one lasagna I did not like. I think I was like five. Oh no, I wasn't even five yet. I hadn't started. I was like three or four. I remember we went to this big picnic. There's a whole bunch of kids there, and somebody made lasagna, and I was like, "Oh, I'm all about this." And I don't know what they did, but they put eggs in it somehow, soft-boiled eggs, which I'd never seen in a lasagna before or after, um, except the soft-boiled eggs weren't completely cooked, so a little bit was runny. It was not good. But, my, foster mom, when she made lasagna, she didn't do stuff like put a ricotta or cottage cheese or something in it, so the first time I had lasagna that had that kind of stuff, it was, "Oh my god, where's this been all my life?" So, I do love lasagna. Ooh, Linda, I'd like to make a shrimp lasagna with bechamel sauce. That would be interesting. Of course, for me, unfortunately, it has to be gluten-free noodles. Um, but they hold up just as well as pretty much just as well as regular ones. I have found when I've made one myself. But yes, I have done unspeakable things of which I am not proud at all, but I do not regret for lasagna. So that sounds like a wonderful thing to be having for Christmas. Never thought of having a Christmas lasagna. I've had, turkey, ham, even goose a couple of times, which I actually really like. It's a bit of a greasy meat, of course, but I do like goose for Christmas. I happen to like gamier meats as well, so it's not to everybody's taste. Um, but I do enjoy them very much. But I've never had a Christmas lasagna. I might have to do that one year. Maybe also Christmas risotto. I thought of making that for potluck this year, but instead I made a chili. But yeah, I love I love Um, I really do. I think if it weren't for the curling and the tennis and the dancing and the cycling and the walking a lot of places, uh, I would probably very easily weigh a whole lot more than I do. Because I really do love food. Fortunately, I also do like sports, so it kind of works out. But I think I'm one of these people who play sports so I can enjoy more food. Yeah. Let's see what else. Uh, Jay Crick says he's got about 8 inches of snow on the ground where he is, which is nice. That gives a Christmas feel. Um, Speaking of that, my beaver sweetie and I decided to make the trip to Toronto on the evening of the 23rd, when there was such a, if you were anywhere in southern Ontario, in eastern Ontario, there was a pretty big snowstorm that day and that evening. And we were hoping to leave earlier in the day, but unfortunately, we had to make a stop somewhere in the afternoon that was very, very important, which was originally unscheduled. And that took a little time, which meant that we didn't get to leave until about 7 p.m. rather than the afternoon. So we were driving at night. And I did toy with the idea of suggesting that we leave the next day, but maybe for Sweetie, um, he's extremely close to his family and really wanted to be able to get there because so that we can wake up on Christmas Eve here rather than traveling. Because I think last year it was we traveled. There was also some bad weather on the night before, so we traveled the next day. Um, and while the roads were clear, we almost got sideswiped by an 18-wheeler that trip, and so there was a little bit of a scary moment if it wasn't for my Beaver Sweetie's extreme calm and very deft driving skills. Just slowly taking his foot off the gas and moving into the shoulder so that we can make some room. And fortunately, that was a part of the shoulder that had actually been cleared by snowplows because there was a lot of place on the road that hadn't. If not, we would have been just driven right into a snowbank. But we managed to evade the action from the 18-wheeler. But this time around, there was no such terrible incident, which was great. But our usual car is in the shop right now because the check engine light was flashing, and they can't seem to figure out exactly why that is. They changed the sensor, and then I previously went to grab the car and started driving, and it was shaking and everything. So it's still with the dealership where they're touching up on some few things, and we'll be driving it a lot over the next week to see if there's anything wrong or whether we need a new engine, which is still under the warranty. Which in one way would be nice because we're getting close to the end of the warranty. I think it ends in February. Getting a brand new engine for Christmas is like getting a brand new car. That would be a nice present, especially considering the year that we had. That would be a nice end to the year. So, by the way, you're pretty much getting a brand new car. Yay! So that would be nice. But we were getting a courtesy car. We had a courtesy car for this week. That we could run inside the city, but it wasn't really recommended to take that one on a long trip. So we were giving a different one for a longer trip, and this was basically essentially a new car to both of us, Toyota Yaris, which is I don't know much about cars, but runs very well. The one that we have has 300,000 kilometers on it, so rather indestructible as a car, I would say. Um, but we drove that night, and I don't know if you can see that my knuckles are still white. uh, I was petrified, and you have to understand that my Beaver Sweetie is an extremely safe driver. I can usually fall asleep in the car, no problem, like within 10 or 15 minutes. But I was like holding on to the thing that they have. I call them oh shit bars. There's the one on top, and then and then there's the one by the door, and it's just like holding on to them, and it's like ah. Um, all the way. And at the beginning, it was like this thick, crunchy snow, so it kept on feeling like the tires were going to skid at any moment, and so I was very nervous. Um, we drove almost the entirety of the way at 60. There were snow squalls. There was lots of snow on the highway. We sometimes got caught behind plows, which was actually kind of nice. Usually we hate that, but on that day that was kind of nice. And so there were many times we couldn't actually see the lanes, so we didn't know if where we were was a 2-lane 401 or a 3-lane 401 and where the shoulder was exactly. And so, driving here, oh, okay, it's we're on the shoulder turn. So it was stressful, and a trip that normally takes about 2.5 to 3 hours took 5. So we drove really slowly, but we did make sure we got here. We got here in one piece, and that we were here to wake up here on the day rather than having to travel on the day. So uh, not something I would recommend to anyone. Uh, but fortunately, it seems that it was just snow and there wasn't much ice, so we didn't really skid all that much. It was just some terrain that felt weird on a certain amount of time, and some difficulty knowing in which lane you were uh, on the road, and every now and then. Not full visibility issue. There wasn't snow squalls that were so bad that you had zero visibility, but still, you did want it to be not driving at 80, 90. Now, that doesn't mean that there weren't people that the people that weren't. There were people that were way more confident. But also, when it's a car that's new to you and you're not exactly sure how it handles, you want to just be a little more cautious. So that is what we did here. Oh, I just saw in the chat, Kit Lane. I was just quoting Douglas, and my mind went off the rails. I wish I knew what it is that you had quoted. Oh, I like goose for Christmas. Ah! uh, hmm, that also might be the title of my next sex tape. Should I be talking about that on Christmas? Get some Cubs. For clarity, if you're new here, I don't have a sex tape and I don't have the next one coming out. It's just a joke we do down here. Picked it up from Brooklyn Nine-Nine if you're a fan. Because every now and then people say things that come out a little wrong unintentionally. And we're a big fan of unintentional humor here at the Beaver Lodge. All right. Jay Crick is done with the potatoes and is now moving on to the damn DAM carrots. There you go. Okay, let's see, what else do we have here? Kit from Dan ate everything from shrimp to cupcakes last night, and for the record, I tried guacamole too. I like it. Yes, we have a convert. Thank you. Kit Dan, if ever we do get together and I get to cook for you, I make pretty mean guacamole and pretty mean salsa. So we'll treat you to some. Let's see. Don't drive here, man. Take the TTC. Yes, within Toronto. Yes, absolutely. But unfortunately, the TTC doesn't get to Kingston. We had never had any trouble, and did not have that as an option. Kid Carole says my first hubby was French, so we'd have cookies Saint Jacques. Ooh, and you spelled it actually right, by the way. You were wondering, but you spelled it right. That's the most delicious seafood dish I've ever had. It's cookies Saint Jacques is rather divine. I must admit, you have most exceptionally good taste when it comes to food, Kit Nona. I will just say there. Kit Linda M. I'm never nervous driving in iffy weather conditions, but I'm always scared if someone else is driving. Ah, yeah. Unfortunately, I can't say that that's the case for me, given, well, the extent of my driving was my driving lessons and driving test, after which the driving um, instructor put his hand on my lap. Very, um, I'm not sure if it was reassuringly, but to make sure that he had my full attention, and said, "Don't drive. Just don't drive." Oh man, I tell you. Kit Cassie says Jake Brick needs a mandolin slicer to take care of those carrots. Those are very handy, but you do have to watch your fingers, especially when you get to the last little bit at the end. Um, yeah, then, yeah, don't ask me how I know. But basically, in cooking, fingers are intended for two things: burning and cutting. Pretty much. Oh man, I love it. Oh, gee, all of you are so participating in the chat today. Thank you so much. Kid Toronto 10. I ate half a cheesecake. Ah, ah, ah. I've been known to do that. Normally not for Christmas though. usually, usually, if I'm eating half a cheesecake, it's big time comfort food. Or maybe a little emotional eating. Killing them. That's okay, Douglas. You're good at all kinds of things you don't need to drive to. See, now the naughty part of me wants to say, well, I was never meant to drive. I was meant to be driven. But that's just my naughty mind working. See, you bring out the worst in me, Kids and Cubs, and I love you for it. Welcome to our totally inappropriate Christmas show. Um, let's see. Who all wants? Oh, Kid Toronto Dan is inviting anyone to meet up at Shoeless Joe's on Dufferin Street tomorrow, round one. If I'm able to, my friend, I would come. I will confirm with you. I don't know what the family plans are for tomorrow. I know that there are some. I just don't know what they are yet. But if that is an opening, I would definitely show up. But I believe I'm here for a few days yet. So if I can't make it there, I will be giving you a call and we'll have some hangout time. Okay. All right. Ooh, Nishatika, I'm on my fourth glass of wine and 11 this. Oh, man. I'm a terrible influence. Uh, okay. All right. Uh, that was the one thing. The other Christmas Eve thing that happened to me the other day, actually, when I was coming home. Yes, when I was coming home from the curling match the other day, um, the bus driver was pulling up, and I was just looking on my phone and stuff, and saw the bus and come up, walk up to, sort of hail it because it's a in Kingston, we have a couple of buses that are expresses. So when they were coming by, if you're still in the bus shelter and you haven't stepped up to the stop to give it a little wave, sometimes they go by. I've missed a couple of buses that way before I figured it out when I had first moved to Kingston. So I did. And as the bus is approaching, I kid you not, um, we had bus driver that had, as the saying, I think it is from the Night Before Christmas story, with a belly that jiggled like a big bowl of jelly, I think, and a big white beard and a Santa bonnet on. And as he's approaching, and I saw it, I, you know that I'm well connected with my inner 6-year-old, right? We're like this. So my inner 6-year-old just popped up, and all of a sudden was just like a like a big like, "Santa! It's Santa!" Uh, I just smiled so broad and wide like this, and everything just filled with joy. I'm a 1-year-old man. I know, but it's like, but I choose to believe in Santa still. It's a choice. And I was having this conversation with family yesterday, and it was sort of like, you know, everything that they say about Santa, right? And when kids, grow up, because we have a niece that's at the age, um, at that age, she believes in Santa, um, but not necessarily everyone in her own age group still does. Um, and they were telling me a story about how Santa changes through your life. So it was a kid that was asking someone, "Is Santa real?" I said, "Do you really want to know the answer to that question? Because once you know, you can't unknow." So, yeah, I want to know. And then someone said, "Santa is real, but Santa, not necessarily a person, but an idea." And then they explain Santa, right? What works. And I say, "Now that you know, it's your job to be Santa." And I always thought that that was such a cool, like, that's just a cool way to do it because you keep the magic alive, but they're part of it now, which was cool. So it's sort of like there's an age in your life where you believe in Santa, and then there might be an age in your life where not necessarily you don't believe, um, but people tell you stuff that might make you want to doubt Santa. And then eventually you hit an age where you become Santa. So yeah, I always thought that was a good thing how Santa manifests himself in our lives, and because of course I am married in married in to a Romanian family, and they're Orthodox, so their Christmas is a little later. Official, well, there's a difference between sometimes Romanian Orthodox and Russian, Ukrainian Orthodox, Greek Orthodox. So, but they have 3 nights. So they have something called um, Moj Krasun, which happens a few weeks earlier, so in early December, where they put kids put their shoes out, and then Mos Crăciun, Moș in Romanian is a way to say old man. So, for example, Moșu. is often a term of affection used to say grandpa. So Moș Crăciun. Crăciun is a Christmas in Romanian. So you put your shoes out, whatnot, and leave treats and goodies, little coins, stuff like that, little trinkets. Then you get Moș Nicolae, which is, you know, Saint Nicholas, uh, or Old Man Nick, Old Saint Nick, for Christmas. And then I don't remember what the third one is called. But that's a little later in January, which is the third one. So they get to celebrate three times. So this, for me, um, uh, because I'm now part of this family, Christmas is not just the 25th. And I guess if you're Catholic, also, and you're doing the whole Advent thing, if you include that, it's not just the 25th, right? I mean, it's a whole period where you prepare the coming of the Lord, if that's the thing that you believe in and subscribe to. But in this case, the celebrations last pretty much an entire month. Doesn't suck, I have to say. Especially if you're a 6-year-old in your heart. So, it yeah, we have some, lovely times, and of course, because I have a niece and nephew, and, because other members of the family have some kids that are even younger, um, I get to have the magic of Christmas, with other kids, and you get to see Christmas through the eyes of children, which is always, it's a great time for me. So, these are gifts for me, that I hadn't had for, quite a long time, as a kid. Christmas wasn't necessarily the most joyous time, right? Because as you know, I grew up in foster families and was not necessarily with my mom on Christmas Eve. Um, and the gifts were never anywhere near to what the other kids had, of course, because you're a foster kid and Children's Aid Society has a rather limited budget. Um, so yeah, Christmas was okay, okay, but I was not really all that into it. And then as I got older, um, you know, tried to create my own traditions. And unfortunately, both my parents are not with me. My mom passed away. It'll be 2 decades ago this coming year, February. Um, so, you know, uh, before I met my Beaver sweetie, Christmas, there were many Christmases. That was pretty much just me or doing the orphan Christmas, having other friends over who had nothing going on or going into other friends that might be taking other people in. Like this, or even just, and don't get me wrong, I did not dislike it, I guess, but there were a couple of alone Christmases along the way too. I recently had one during the COVID thing when my Beaver sweetie decided he was going to go spend time with family, and I decided to play it a little more safe, stay home. So I'm not unused to alone Christmases as well. Um, but I have to say, Christmas with kids, um, which is different when you are a kid. But when you're not a kid, Christmas with kids is way more fun. Just way, way more fun. And so, yeah, now uh, at 51, I am probably the most Christmassy in terms of liking the holiday than I've ever been in my entire life, which is kind of weird way to come about it. But um, I have uh, rather than just one person I love with whom to celebrate, which was my mom. I have many people I love with whom to celebrate. Uh, and yeah, it's always a nice, joyous feeling. So, as I mentioned, this family is really, really wonderful. So it it makes it easy. It makes it easy. All right. Let's see what else do we have. Oh, so yes, since I was talking about my mom, when I was at uh, the Starbucks pipe joining in to Mr. Grizzly's Christmas uh, greeting to you. Um, I have something that I call mom moments that happen now and then. And mom moments are, uh, you're just there and out of the blue, somebody says something, or you're somewhere and you hear something that kind of reminds you. One of the times I had that, I was actually in Puerto Vallarta, uh, right before meeting someone who became a boyfriend for a little bit of time. And we were on vacation, and just out of the blue, nowhere, because we're on the balcony watching the sunset, having a glass of wine, comes on the radio, "Can't Get Enough of Your Love, Babe" by Barry White. And Barry White was my mom's favorite. I was like, why is there like a late 1970s song just randomly playing in between a whole mix of like current songs? Just there at this precise moment, sunset, sitting on a balcony with someone I'm very, very, very interested in. And so I turned it, looked at it as it was a mom moment. Mom was sending me a message that this might be a good thing, or that she approved. Or maybe she was sending me a message saying, "Run." But given that the song was "Can't Get Enough of Your Love, Babe," I was guessing it was a message saying, "This is something you need to experience." But today, um, at the Starbucks, just out of the blue, among all the Christmas songs and whatnot, a Captain and Tennille song came on. And one of my mom's two favorite songs from when I was a little kid was "Love Will Keep Us Together" and "Do It To Me One More Time" from the Captain and Tennille. So this one wasn't that one. It was another song. But I immediately recognized the voice, and it's like, Mom! Merry Christmas. So yeah, every now and then you get moments like that. And sometimes I'm in the grocery store, put cereal in the cart, and it's like all of a sudden on the Muzak, it's like, Mom, hey there. So yeah, I got a little mom moment this morning, which filled my heart with some love and joy. And I know that at Christmas, um, you know, there's always a group of people as well. Um, uh, who can't be with people that they love. Sometimes it could be a travel issue or a health issue that makes it such that you can't be. There are people that are without a loved one for the first time uh, this Christmas season, and special thoughts go out to them. There are people who were a bit more like me before, didn't really get much joy out of the season. This is a tougher moment for them. So all of that stuff. Is very, very, very real. And I just wanted you to know that if it's not this year, if it's a little tougher for you, that we are thinking of you and sending you uh, comfort, sending you comfort. All the good vibes for Christmas too, the joy and good wishes, whatnot, but sending you a little extra comfort because, yeah, there are certain times of the year that can be significantly harder when life has thrown us for a few curveballs. Um, but you're in our hearts as well. And if you're in the chat and you've got anything to say, please do. Yeah, I'm sure that the DAMFAM here would be more than willing to provide some virtual hugs. And I know that they're, cold comfort because they're from a distance and you can't actually feel them physically. But hopefully, spiritually, in your soul, you can feel them and know that they're real and that there's a lot of love put in it for you. Um, Also, on that front, kids and cubs, um, just wanted you to know um, that because it can be a tough period of time um, for people, um, and this is something I've experienced myself, not in terms of me going through it, but people that I love and care very, very, very much about going through a tougher time. Um, please, please, please do know. I'm sorry to get very serious here for a second. That this world is way, 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 way better with you in it. So if you need to this holiday season, please do take some time to reach out. Always reach out. And I just want to read a few numbers here for those who may need it. Um, The Canada Suicide Prevention Services hotline is 1-833-456-4566. That's 1-833-456-4566. The Indigenous Hope for Wellness helpline is 1-855-242-3312. 1-855-242-3310. The Reach Out crisis line is at 1-866-933-2033. That's 1-866-933-2033. And the Kids Help phone, because sometimes kids also need help even during the holidays. That's 1-800-668-6868, or text the word connect, CONNECT, to 686-8868. So 68-68-68-68. So again, the number is 1-800-668-6868, or you can text the word connect to 68-68-68. And now if you haven't had time to jot that down, these numbers are posted on at the True Eager feed on Blue Sky and Twitter, and also on our Facebook page. So if you need them, go look them up, find the post. They're there. Um, there are a lot of people during the holiday season that we need to think about because they don't get the day off, right? Doctors, nurses, paramedics, people that work at crisis lines, all that type of stuff. So all of you, thank you for what it is that you do. Thank you for making it such that the rest of us can celebrate our holidays, whichever they are, or not celebrate them, whichever they are, with the assurances that if a curveball were to happen, that there are places that we can go and people that are on duty. And if you do today need to access any of these people, please, please be kind to those who showed up. Just wanted to put that out there. Before we go, I wanted to read you a little something because I learned about something and I didn't know about it at all until yesterday. And what's really cool is that, you know, those times, oh, how would I put it, where you're exposed to something for the first time and you've never heard of it before, and then all of a sudden it seems to pop up everywhere. Well, that's what happened. So it seems that today is the first day of something that's called Kuviasukvik, which is the first day of the year for the Inuit. Kuviasukvik runs until January 7th, and the festival celebrates many things with Inuit culture. So, thanks to Craig Baird of Canadian History, A or X or X, depending how you want to pronounce it, but I think he pronounced it Canadian. I think he pronounced it Canadian History X or A. I'm not sure actually. I'd have to go back and check out when I knew it, but it's been a while since I've had to say the title of the show, so I don't remember which it is. And I should get that right because I refer to him often enough. But he contributed this, and I figured I would read it in so that if anybody else hadn't heard of it, well, you know, a little knowledge for Christmas. In the Christmas season, Inuit celebrations often revolve around Kuviak Sukvik. Sorry, I had practiced it many times to make sure I would roll off the tongue. I screwed up this time. The festival predates the arrival of Europeans and symbolizes renewal, gratitude, and communal joy. It is a celebration of the lengthening and daylight. It's the celebration of the lengthening of daylight and the coming end to winter. Arctic explorer C.F. Hall wrote about Kuviasukvik celebration. Quote, at a time of the year answering to our Christmas, they have a meeting in a large igloo on a certain evening, and the Angakok, or also the word for the shaman, prays and on behalf of the people for the public prosperity. The festival also honors Sedna, the sea goddess and marine animals, and the transferring of spirits for good luck in the new year. According to the hall, the Inuit each stood in a circle around a vessel of water. according to Hall, the Inuit each stood in a circle around a vessel of water. Each person eats a piece of meat in silence. Each person then dipped a cup in the water, thought of Sedna, and drank and stated the time and place of their birth before passing the cup on. Hall said they then presented items to each other, believing good would come to them in proportion to their generosity. Around New Year's Eve, two men went to each home and blew out the lights. Lights were then relit, signifying the sun's renewal for the year. With Christian influences, Kuviasukvik became more aligned with Christmas, but is still celebrated to this day. So there you go, Kuviasukvik going on. So to all who are celebrating that, I hope that your occasions are joyous and festive. And also, because recently we had solstice, so for all of those who celebrated solstice and are celebrating Yule, also some thoughts for you today and good wishes to you and all of yours as well. There you go, kids and cubs. I think that's going to be it pretty much for today. I think that makes a good show and a good little drop in. And plus, we've got family coming over in, let's see, 3.5 hours because we're hosting today. So the tables and chairs were set yesterday, and there's a lot of food prepared. Father-in-law, very, very, very good cook. So we will be having all our Romanian and Eastern European Christmas favorites. So there will be no turkey on the table. We'll have a ciorba de perișoară, which is a soup with meatballs that has also rice and a beautiful sort of clearish broth with some cubed vegetables, carrots and potato and maybe not potato. I think it's celery root, not potato. But it is just delicious. There will be all kinds of beautifully prepared meats. There's a beautiful salad that's also celery root and carrot and something else, shredded celery root and carrot, I think, salad with maybe a little bit of mayonnaise. But there's going to be good food, plenty of it, something like 5 or 6 or 7 courses. I am going to have to, after about the third or fourth course, move away from the table for about half an hour and let things settle before I can continue. Fortunately, it's done at a very slow pace, and we do take a break somewhere in the middle before we get on to the other things. But there will be charcuterie and cheese plates and just a whole bunch of stuff. So an overabundance of very, very good food, and fortunately, also an abundance. I won't say overabundance, but an abundance of beautiful people with whom to share it. And that's really what Christmas is all about, isn't it? Sharing the joy, sharing the spirit, sharing what it is that you have, right? Even if you don't have a lot, whatever it is that you can, making an extra room at the table. Or as the saying goes, there's always room at the inn. Mm. So, yeah, just embodying that spirit over the course of the day. So, kids and cubs, that's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver Morning Show, our Christmas spin story. Ooh, Pashatika says, this is one of my favorite Christmas stories now. I'm not exactly sure which one it is. Please tell me what it is. I would really appreciate it. What else do we have from the kids before we go? Finland, if you had those Christmases that were lacking, I found that buying yourself one of the toys that you always wanted can go a long way to making you feel warm and good to yourself. That is absolutely true. Actually, I did not do it for Christmas, but I did it one year when I was a kid. I always wanted a very, 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 very red bicycle. And one day last year, or maybe not last year, a couple of years ago, maybe for Sweetie and I, were planning to go to a movie, but it was one of those days again with a storm, and there was huge storm squalls, and we were on the highway getting ready to go to the movies, and we really could not see a thing at all. It was very, very bad. So we just took the first exit that we could see off and drove anywhere we could stop. This happened to be a parking lot of a Walmart. And since we weren't going to be making the movie, we just decided to go to the Walmart and see if there's a couple extra things that we need to pick up and bring home. So instead of a movie, it just ended up becoming errands. And it was February, and there was a gorgeous, very red bicycle just hanging from the ceiling somewhere. And we ended up buying it. And I'm sitting there, it's like, Tuck, maybe very sweet. It's like, how did we end up going out for a movie? And I'm coming back with a bicycle. I was expecting to spend maybe about $40 tonight, and I ended up spending a few hundred. How exactly did that happen again? But did not regret it at all. So yes, Kitla, and you were right. Um, buying yourself that little something you always wanted but never got, even if it's a toy, and even if you're grown up now, uh, can provoke the warm fuzzies. I completely agree with you here. Kit Elaine, I usually host a virtual pepper check party at least twice per year. Kind of addicted to those things. I have not been able yet to attend one, unfortunately, but I have heard that they are quite fun. So when they happen, please do take the time to drop in. Miss Shadika. Oh my God! If I had the money, I'd get you a big box of the Biff toys from childhood just to see your inner kid light up. That's so sweet. I appreciate that, but you could probably get the same effect with lots of chocolate. Jay Crick says that there's a Mario Kart tournament this afternoon where he is, so that is some good stuff too. That should be fun. All right. Oh no, Kit Toronto. Dan, I found out because when I was 6, my mom was dressed up to deliver our presents, but she tripped and the beard and hat fell off. No! Oh no! Oh darn! That's yeah. Linda M. I remember the parents getting pissed off because the grade school music teacher took it upon themselves to tell the kids. Yeah, that's not okay. That's not okay. Yeah. Oh well. Kits and cups. That's the end of this episode of our Christmas special. We hope that you love listening to us because we loved making this for you. Actually, part two of our Christmas special. Because remember, this is Double Beaver Day. Um, thank you so very much for all that you've done over the course of the year to spread the word about our show. We really do appreciate it. And for those of you who have been following us, you know that it has paid off because our YouTube page has grown by leaps and bounds, and even our Facebook page is growing. And it's thanks to you. Like I know we put the show and whatnot. I'm never going to say, no, you guys do the work and we show up, but it is up to you. What you do to help us out is priceless. And it means the world to me that you see value in what we do. So thank you for sharing the news about our show and telling your peeps and poops all about us. Now, if you are listening on podcast and don't want to miss an episode, thanks to the Ray Girl. Merry Christmas to you and all of yours as well, and thank you for your generosity. I don't know if you hear some sound in the background, but I think there's a blender going on, so the food preparations are continuing in earnest. But if you scan that QR code, that will bring you to our pod page. I'm going to speak just a little louder just in case. Oh, there we go. The noise has stopped for now. Oh, it's back on again. Our pod page, that's podpage.com/the true north eager beaver, lowercase letters with a hyphen between each one of those words. Or if you scan that QR code, thanks to the Ray Girl, you can go there. And if you click subscribe, if you listen to us on podcasts, you will not miss one. It will come directly to you. You don't have to go looking for it. We deliver like Santa. So you can have a little Christmas many times over the course of the year as our pod episodes happen to just slide into your inbox on your whatever it is that you are using to listen to our podcasts. So thank you so very much. Now, if you would like to support us in other ways, one of the ways you can do that is making like Kit Elaine and surfing on down to the True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube channel. And that's where you can find 3 little Christmas balls that are just hanging from our tree. One's called like, one's called share, one's called subscribe. If you click on them, we actually feel it when you do, and we get ourselves just a little bit happy. So if you want to, if you want some Happy Beaver on Christmas Day, just click those little buttons, and that'll do the trick. Now, if you want to support us in other ways, let's say um, financially, because there are some costs that we incur to bring this show to you, and we are happy for your generous support. As we mentioned, we are totally either self-funded, funded by revenue that we are starting to get now from being on YouTube, from clicks and views, and you, and the overwhelming majority of our funding, if it doesn't come from us, is from you, like well over 95%, because we've only received 2 YouTube payments ever. And they've both been this year since we started this show, and we are in our 4th season. We'll be starting our 5th at the end of April. So it really has been these first 4 years, or 3.5, a little more than 3.5, been because a labor of love that we've invested into, but because of you, what it is that you have been able to do to help us along. So we are very, very grateful. Our stockings are hung by the chimney with care. Should you wish to pass by our coffee page, scan that QR code that's just in the corner, or coffeeko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, lowercase letters, all in one word. And if you're able to drop a little something in there, we would be very, very grateful. Now, if you're not able, please do not worry, because you've already put gifts in our stockings, and those are the gifts of your participation and attention, kids and cubs. All the things that you do, right? When you tell everybody about our show, when you retweet us, when you click like, share, subscribe, when you leave a review on Apple Podcasts, for example, and you leave us some stars, when you send us ideas for people you would like to see as guests on our interview project, when you send us clips from news stories that you think we should be aware of because maybe there are things that we would like to look deeper into and bring them to you on our show. All of those things make the show better. All of them, every single one. And we are grateful for every single time you do it, because that means you're thinking of us, and you're thinking of us in a kind and helpful way. And that generosity of spirit means more than absolutely anything at all. So we are very grateful for all that you do. And please keep doing that, especially if you're not able to contribute financially. That is definitely how you can help. So thank you for all that you have done to help grow the show this year. And this has been a big year of growth for us. So it's my brand, it's our show in terms of Mr. Grizzly and I, but it's all of our show, right? It's your show too. And we welcome what it is that you do to help shape it and mold it and make it better. And I'm a little emotional, but I'm deeply touched because, as you know, I did not think that there was a market for this. I needed to be convinced to do this as a podcast. And you have shown me that I was wrong. And I have never, ever been more happy to be wrong in all of my life. You are my gift. So thank you. That was long-winded, I know. But it's sincere, and it's from the heart. And it's important. I believe when you're doing this type of initiative, it's important to let your audience know that you care about them, that they are meaningful, they're not just utilitarian, and that you're on this journey with them. And if it wasn't for them, you would not have the privilege of this journey and this platform. So, yeah, I just thank you. Just thank you. All right. Whew. We're not going to do it because democracy is something that you do today, because it's a day off. Take a day off politics. All right. Um, but if you do want to do democracy on this day, um, there are a lot of organizations that are serving meals today. Might be welcome for the extra help. Remember that once Christmas is over, the need is still there. So, and a lot of people make themselves available for Christmas because it is the season, but afterwards. So, if you're not able to do anything today, period after Christmas and New Year and January, it can be tough. Um, and But the need is still there and just as great. So maybe you could participate then at that point, or make a plan to participate then. That's your democracy is something you do think today. But if you just take the day off, you're entitled to a few. All right. You have Mr. Beaver's permission. Words of wisdom. Um, Spread a cup of cheer. And if you see some people that may not have enough cheer in their cup, that's another donation you can make, right? Costs nothing to give someone a smile or, um, you know, just send some positive energy in their way, hold door, that type of stuff. If they're at home, they're not feeling the best, make sure they get a extra large helping of their favorite Christmas thing, whether it's turkey or cranberry sauce or the stuffing, just a little something, serving up the plate and say, there's a little extra for you. Little kiss on the forehead, that type of thing. But sometimes small gestures, right? Sometimes small gestures mean the world. Okay, so that's my words of wisdom. Small gestures mean the world. So pose a few today if you have the opportunity to make someone's life a little more cheerful. Okay, get some Kubs. I am going to now attempt to cue the cock and make a perfect dismount. So stick with me. Here we go.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, their uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. We are grateful to the Crier Media Network for its support, Pete Jarvis for our artwork, and Paul Joseph Something for our opening and closing sequence music.
Hey there, kids and Cubs. Just before we go, just reading through the chat. Kid Dan, right, yes, there is a 988 number as well if people need help today. So yes, 988, it's just over a year old. We talked about it on the show a few days ago. It had helped over 300,000 people last year. So yes, 988 is another resource today if you too need it. Thank you for reminding us of that in the chat, Kit Dan. Shadika, I learned something new today. This is good. Oh, okay. So yes, Kuviasuvik. That's what you were talking about when you were talking about the story. Thank you, Miss, for clearing that out. Clearing that up. Clearing out is a totally different thing, and I think clearing out is probably what I need to do because I can't tripping over my tongue. Kid J says, "Thank you for doing this. You are most welcome. It's a joy. It really is a joy." Mashadika, the story about the song and my mom. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I'm a mama's boy, mama's beaver all the way through. Actually, I'm going to stick to mama's boy there because mama's beaver probably did not come out right. Oh God, I'm terrible. My beaver mama, but I'm definitely a mama's boy. Oh my God. Okay. You know what? I think I am going to quit while I'm ahead. Uh, Merry Christmas as well to Kit Donna, who joined us later in the show because we gave greetings to everyone. Kit Uncover, who joined us later in the show. Thank you so much. And if you did join us later in the show and I did not see you and did not wish hello to you, I am so sorry personally, but I am thinking of you, and please consider this my specific greeting to you as well. All right, kits and cubs. Um, I got to jet because I believe I hear Christmas hot chocolate calling my name from the other room, and I must answer the call. Ooh. All right, everyone, have a beaverific holiday. Not sure what time we will be with you tomorrow, but please follow our socials. We will post. I have the feeling it might be a little later date tomorrow as well, rather than 7, because we're both with family today. All right, and many people will probably want to sleep in a little bit tomorrow as well. Okay. Have a beaverific Christmas. Have a beaverific holiday, everyone. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.